Illinois Railway Museum is one of the premier railroad museums in the Midwestern United States. Boasting one of the largest collections of locomotives and rolling stock, their museum is nothing short of impressive. Every summer, the Illinois Railway Museum hosts a multi-day event called Diesel Days. For this event, the museum runs many different pieces of rolling stock as well as many of its diesel locomotives. The first move of the day is the caboose train being powered by Green Bay and Western 2407, an Elko RSD-15. These locomotives have the nickname of alligators due to their long snoot nose. This locomotive was originally built for the Santa Fe Railroad and spent time on the Lake Superior and Ishpeming Railroad, for which its current paint scheme is based on. The four railroads represented behind the 2407 today are the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy, the Chicago Great Western Railway, Union Pacific, and the Illinois Central Gulf Railway. Next, we took a look at the locomotive being used for the Engineer for an Hour train. This is Wisconsin Central SD45 number 7525. It is wearing an Operation Lifesaver scheme as it runs on the western half of the IRM main line. Back at the station, we would catch the Chicago and Northwestern Pullman train departing for the main line. Today, this train consists of a Chicago and Northwestern Pullman cab car, 2 C&W gallery cars, and 1 Metra painted gallery car. Powering the train are Metra number 308 and Chicago and Northwestern number 411, both EMD F7As. After meeting the Pullman train, the caboose train shoves back into the museum grounds. This will be the 2407's only trip today, so it will be switched out shortly. The next train to leave the grounds would be the coach train led by Chicago Northwestern SD50 number 7009 and SD40-2 number 6847. At the time of our visit, 7009 was one of the most recently acquired locomotives, coming from National Railway Equipment only a few months prior. It is also the first SD50 that is in preservation. The first diesel swap of the day would be for the caboose train. Minnesota Transfer Railway number 200 would be brought out of the shops. This locomotive is an RS3 which will swap with Green Bay and Western 2407. The locomotives would meet in the shop area as they make their swap. Arriving back on the platform next would be the Chicago Northwestern Pullman train. We caught them arriving and then heading back to the shops as this was the train's only trip for the day. Chicago and Northwestern and Pullman revolutionized commuting in Chicago with the invention of the gallery car. These cars offered higher capacity than their single-level counterparts and additionally had easier boarding with their low doors and automatic opening. Now out on the main line, we would catch the caboose train with the Minnesota Transfer Railway number 200 leading the way. After stopping east of the crossing, the caboose train shoves back west into the siding where they will await their meet.
Thank you. Holy shit. I'll come by after on the next trip.
Coming down the main line next was the crown jewel of the Illinois Railway Museum, the Nebraska Zephyr being led by Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy 9911A, a rare EMD E5 locomotive. The Nebraska Zephyr train set is a 5-unit articulated train set that ran between Chicago, Illinois and Lincoln, Nebraska starting in 1947. The 9911A is one of only 11 E5s ever built and was assigned to the Nebraska Zephyr at times during their operational lives. The Nebraska Zephyr would shove into the siding to wait on its own meat, which happened to be, in my mind, the best meat of the weekend. The coach train has had its locomotive swapped and is now using Burlington Northern F9A BN1 and F9B BN2. This cab unit meet was an awesome sight to see in 2023. The coach train for this event is using a mix of heavyweight cars, including cars from the Bessemer, Lackawanna, Rock Island, and Duluth Mesabian Iron Range. Back at the museum grounds, we would catch the next power swap of the day. BN1 and 2 would be swapped out for Wisconsin Central SD45 7525. With their engine swap complete, the coach train departed the museum grounds past a classic Chicago and Northwestern semaphore signal. After meeting on the east end of the line, the Nebraska Zephyr shoves back to the museum. As they coast back into the station, we get a great view of the classic streamlined train set in E5. As the 9911A passes our camera, we get a great view of the slanted nose of the locomotive. The final caboose train of the afternoon would be powered by Illinois Terminal GP7 number 1605. They slowly creep out of the yard and then take a brief stop before continuing east. Our final catch of the weekend would be the Nebraska Zephyr departing from the East Union Depot. This beautiful train was a fitting train to end on and wrap up an awesome Illinois Railway Museum Diesel Days. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, do not forget to subscribe for future rail fanning videos just like this one.